Hi everyone, it's Rax, and the brand new patch notes are out that are going to be on the PTR and available for Season 19. Let's walk through all of them together, and I'll give you my opinion on everything that's coming out, okay? So in general, the Greater of Keystones are now subject to vacuum pickup. Remember, in my top 10 requests for how to improve Diablo 3, the number one thing was to auto pick up materials. I'd rather auto pick up materials rather than Greater of Keystones, but at least they're giving us picking up something. So hopefully in the future we can get it for other things. In the seasons, the developers note that the biggest pieces of feedback that they got from Season 18 was that the Triune bonus didn't stick as they move forward, so they're going to give us something that goes along with us, and it's supposed to feel like Pandemonium. Okay? Well, let's keep on reading here. The buff for Season 19, the Season of Eternal Conflict, has been added, Pandemonium. For the duration of the season, all players will have a stacking buff that persists as long as you have hit or killed a monster within the last 5 seconds. Each stack gives more movement speed and damage. The cap is 50 and 100% at 1,000 stacks. And after reaching a certain number of kills, a power is going to be unleashed. Okay? 5 massive energy twisters, dark geysers, exploding chickens, corpses rain from the sky, a wide frost nova. This is the one that I have the biggest problem with, because CCs in the game are generally not something that you want to trigger randomly, something that you want to implement on your own. For example, in the meta groups, you don't want something randomly frozen as you're moving from pack to pack to pack. I really hope that this one's taken out. Anyway, treasure chests fall from the sky, a ring of fire engulfs everything, meteors hail from above, angels descend to fight for us, and who knows what happens at 1,000 kills. Powers are tracked at a group level. That means only one power can be active in play at a time, regardless of the number of players in a group, okay? So, let's think about this for a second. It looks like the stacks are going to stack on kill, okay? Because it's a group-wide buff, so I'm assuming that the number of stacks is going to be for the whole group. And it does not make sense that on hit is how you build the stacks, because if that was true, you could just have 4 players in a group stack the 5.0 attacks per second breakpoint and just attack super fast and instantly get at the 1,000 stack mark, okay? So I'm pretty sure the stacks come from kills, even though hits will refresh the buff, okay? And because it continuously gives more damage, unless some of these different affixes have a tremendous power difference, I always think it's going to be worth it to keep up as high of a kill stack as you possibly can. So there are several things you have to think about here. When you're changing floors, you have to make sure that you're still hitting a monster. But since it's a group-wide buff, maybe one person can go next floor and start hitting a monster, then the other people can come through to make sure that the stacks keep going. Another thing to think about is, what about when the Rift Guardian spawns? You killed the last mob and the Rift Guardian spawns. I have heard that the timing on that is 4 seconds, so you better get that last hit in to keep your stacks up in order to maintain what you have. And maybe bosses like Hamlin, if you can't get to 1,000 stacks, who keeps spraying ads everywhere, will be good for this, okay? So my opinion on this is, I'm glad that they listened to feedback in that some pieces of the Triune, they didn't stick with you and they're going to give us something static and something that we can work for. I don't know how I feel about all of these different random things happening. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. On Thursday, I'm going to download the PTR. I'm going to play for like 20 hours straight. I'm going to test everything. I'm going to level up on the season and see exactly how it works. So if you'd like to stop by, I'd be able to give a much better opinion on it when I see it. In general, these things, usually everything in Diablo 3 that's like a supplemental thing, like followers and random procs, they usually never help. But maybe this is different, and maybe these things are going to be amazing. We're just going to have to test it before we form an opinion. But I think understanding exactly how this stacks and how to maintain them are going to be key to succeeding in this season. Another thing to think about is this is probably going to mean that you're going to be much stronger at the end of a rift than at the beginning because you don't have any stacks, right? So that's something that you've got to keep in mind with how the pylons spawn, and maybe in the beginning of a rift, you just smash trash. You forget the elites, you just smash all the trash and go to the next floor, you smash all the trash, but then on floor 3, when you've started to really build this, or you start to get maybe the angels, or angels in the outfield are fighting with you, and now all of a sudden you've got a mega damage boost, maybe now your character can smash the elites. This is all stuff we're going to have to think about and test. Pandemonium's a good name for it. It sounds like it's going to be exactly that. Okay. Now on to the items. We're getting the new class sets for the Crusader and the Monk, and they're buffing barbs. All of that is fantastic. Crusaders needed a buff. Monks are getting a set. That's fine. I don't think Monks needed a buff, but we're getting a set for Monks. Barbarians needed big help. The class that feels left out here is Witch Doctor. Witch Doctors are not very good. And I'm, depending on how good the new set is for Crusaders, and it looks pretty good, I think in the class tier list, Witch Doctors are going to be the worst by a significant margin. So pending how good the new set is for Crusader, I think Witch Doctors are going to be dead last, or maybe it'll still be Barb, I don't know. But that was the one surprising thing here is we're not getting anything for Witch Doctors, okay? So anyway, new set for Crusader. The 2-piece bonus. The charged bolts from Fist of the Heavens have a chance to cast other Fist of the Heavens. This reminds me of Diablo 2. Fist of the Heavens Paladins were amazing. Fist of the Heavens are going to be everywhere. Could it be a viable trash clear? I have no idea. We're going to have to try it. I'm definitely going to make this, level it up. Might be the first character I level up. Going to put on this set, and we're just going to go buck wild. 4-piece hitting with Fist of the Heavens gives us 50% damage reduction, and the 6-piece increases the damage of Fist of the Heavens by 10,000%. That's a huge multiplier. That's a huge multiplier. So we're going to have to see it. We're just going to have to try it. For the Monk set, this is cool. It's fine. I'll try it. I'm very surprised that they use Sweeping Wind. Sweeping Wind is Sun Wuku, right? So why Sweeping Wind again? I don't know. Very puzzling to me. We're going to gain the effect of every rune. Each enemy within Sweeping Wind increases our movement speed, so we're going to run really fast. And remember, we're also getting a movement speed buff from the seasonal buff, so they're going to run really fast. And attacking with Tempest Rush while Sweeping Wind is active, it temporarily increases the size of the Sweeping Wind after hitting over 30 times within a short period, and we get the 10,000% multiplier. So is putting on the Sweeping Wind stat and Tempest Rushing everywhere, is that just going to blow everything up and move at the speed of light? Is that going to be like the best key farming build or something? I don't know. I'm going to try it. Be sure to check out the stream if you want to see what it's like. Okay, so Dark Light, Fist of the Heavens now does 100% increase, or 100% chance to be cast twice, and we're getting another multiplier. So they really want us to be using this skill. Eye of the Storm. When Sweeping Wind hits exactly one enemy, its damage is increased by 100%. That's going to allow us to kill the Guardian. Okay. The maximum stat count of Sweeping Wind by 10. Okay, so this is important. All else being equal, that is going to dramatically buff the already probably best key farming build in the entire game. The Sun Wuku Wave of Light Monk is pretty much, bar none, the best key farming build in the entire game, because you can also use Kane's set with it to get the extra keys. And this increased stack of Sweeping Wind should buff that even further. So unless one of these two builds is somehow better, that best key farming build is just going to get even better. So I will definitely be making a Sun Wuku Wave of Light Monk next season for sure. All right. Chantodos. We're going to have to see how much this is nerfed, but I think everyone can agree that Chantodos is the best build in the game overall across all the game modes. And I'm not surprised that they toned it down a bit. it's stupidly powerful. So let's see how much they toned it back. It could still be a godly spec. We'll have to test it. Wrath of the Waste. The damage bonus now also applies to Rend. That is not how I would have buffed Whirlwind Barbs. The problem with Whirlwind is it's very heavily based on area damage. And with Rend on top of it, it's just gonna lag the game so badly. That is not how I would have fixed Whirlwind Barbs. We're gonna have to test the damage. But I gotta be honest, I love Barbs. They're my favorite class. That is not how I would have fixed Whirlwind Barbs. It's just gonna lag everything. And they really want us to use Rend because Lamentation, the belt, is now going to give us 200% damage. So now Rend is mandatory for Whirlwind Barbs. We're just going to have to try it, I guess. Attacking with Whirlwind also applies Rend, and the total damage of Rend is dealt over 1 second. Okay, we're going to have to give it a try. We're going to have to see how powerful they are. Like I said, I'm really, really worried about the lag. Let's see what happens. Remorseless has been changed. Hammer of the Ancients used to have a 30% chance to summon an Ancient. Now, when we have Wrath of the Berserker and Call of the Ancients, Hoda is going to do 250% increased damage. So Lon Hoda right now, I think, is rank 1 world for solo Barbarian. So that build just got stronger. So that's good. It's putting Barbarians more in line with the other solo classes. So their best build got buffed. We'll see how good Whirlwind is. Fjord Cutter used to be the Chilling Aura. Now Seismic Slam attacks 50% faster and deals 150% increased damage against slowed or chilled enemies. Okay, so Seismic Slam's getting buffed, and it's getting buffed again. Because now it hits the first 10 enemies with Bracers of Destruction. Used to be 5. So Barbarian, Seismic Slam, Hoda, and Whirlwind have all gotten stronger. My favorite's Whirlwind. That's the one I'll probably be trying. We'll see how good it is. We'll build it right away when the PTR comes out. Call of the Ancients gains the effect of the Ancient's Fury Rune, and your Ancients attack 100% faster. I'm going to guess that's pretty meaningless. The Ancients, as far as I know, for every build are pretty worthless. Maybe this makes them somewhat viable, but I doubt it. Now this is a big one, guys. Bone Ringer has a cap of 60 stacks. We never intended for this item to be used in a way where you farm stacks for an egregious amount of time, like 5+ minutes, and then watch all of their health disappear in less than a second. It's not an engaging style of gameplay, and we don't want that experience to be the best way to play Necromancer. Okay, that combined with this, Blighter, the Poison Tentacles area of effect now hits less frequently but at a higher damage when attacking players. So that is a mega nerf to Thorns Necros, okay? Now, it's no secret, I played this a lot, more than most humans on planet Earth the last 2 seasons. And the thing that surprises me is I'm surprised that Blizzard thought that the problem was with Thorns Necros. The nerf to Blighter, we'll have to see how much of a nerf this is, because if you do not know this, Blighter gets killed instantly by a Thorns Necro at Greater Rift 150. So all the best clears in the world usually feature Blighter as the Rift Guardian. Depending on how big of a nerf this is, to me, that's enough to nerf Thorns. Solo Thorns is also the best build for Necromancers, but it is pretty challenging to play, and it's a really big fish. Unless you get super lucky, you're going to plug hundreds, if not thousands, of keys in order to get the right rift to even make any of this work. And capping it at 60 stacks is pretty crippling. Now, I'll tell you something. Thorns Necros might still be the best Rift Guardian killer next season. If this isn't a huge nerf to Blighter, we'll have to test it. Blighter will still probably be the best Guardian, and 60 stacks is plenty to kill Blighter. That's plenty. I mean, he'll still get vaporized in 60 seconds, unless this is a big nerf. Another thing is, well, maybe now we just fish for Bloodmaw or Infernal Maiden. Because Blood Maw or Infernal Maiden are like 2.5 minute kills. You're going to get half of the Bone Ringer stacks, but you'll still get the full value of the Stricken. And depending on how many monsters you killed in the Rift, you could still potentially have this 100% damage bonus, which is essentially a permanent pink circle in Season 18. So, I don't know. This nerf ruins Thorns for solo and twos. As an RGK, Blighter may still be the best. We'll have to test it. Otherwise, it might just be a big fish with Blood Maw. Perhaps, maybe by some miracle, the Crusader will come into play. It could be the Shotgun Satyr used now, or it could be this set, or maybe this set. I really doubt it's going to be a Sweeping Wind Monk, but I've been surprised before. Okay. It could be a Bone Spirit Necro. Could be coming. Now, I said at the beginning, I'm surprised that I thought Blizzard thought Thorns was the problem. To me, Thorns is not the problem. The problem is Star Pact Wizards, Bazooka Wizards. Wizards are so stupidly strong. In fact, today, I just spent 8 hours decimating GR 150. Again, fishing for Blighter for the rank 1 time on NA. We spawn sub 5 minutes so many times, we just can never get Blighter. But once we get him, we'll have a godly clear. That's the real problem with Diablo. And it requires a macro to play correctly. There are very few wizards that can play it correctly without a macro. And even the ones who can play it correctly without a macro, they're going to miss more often than the ones that do. And missing one meteor when you're pushing for a rank 1 time is devastating. I'm very, very surprised that they targeted Thorns rather than Star Pact. And it's been so many seasons where they are the best AoE trash clear. There's nothing even close to them in the game. Well, rip Thorns Necros, but maybe they'll still be the RGK. Gonna have to test it. We'll be testing it on stream. Legacy of Dreams, this gem is now more likely to drop from Greater Rift Guardian. I read the community posts about this. So when you first start out the season, if you want to play a Legacy of Dreams build, what you typically have to do is you'd have to complete your seasonal journey, get a set, use the set to farm Greater Rifts, farm enough to get the Legacy of Dreams gems to drop. Well, Bane of the Powerful always drops as your first gem, but now with the increased chance, maybe Legacy of Dreams is going to drop 2nd or 3rd or 4th, and then you can go straight into the build without having to do the season journey. I think it's awesome to have that flexibility. I do think this should be one of the first gems that you ever get, so props to them on that. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where a Restless Giant caused... Okay. And Squirt's Necklace. Okay, this is huge. Fixed an issue where some ground effects were causing Squirt's Necklace buff to fall off despite being shielded. So, if Squirt's Necklace is completely fixed, that means that Frozen no longer knocks off Squirt's Necklace, and Anarchs and Exarchs can't knock it off, or the poison left behind on monsters that died, and whatever else knocks off Squirt's. If this goes live and is actually fixing everything, this is a buff to Bazooka Wizards, because that is the only thing stopping them, stopping a powerful Bazooka Wizard from just murdering the entire Rift. So, to me, in the overall real meta of Diablo 3, I think the strongest and most overpowered build in the game is just gotten stronger. And I think, definitely the strongest RGK has been nerfed, kind of, but in a weird way. It cripples them way more in solo and twos than it does as an RGK. And I am not convinced, we'll have to see, I'm not even convinced that Blighter is still not the best Guardian. We're still going to have to test it. So, anyway, all of that being said, in general, I am happy with these changes. They came up with something new and unique, as they said they would. Here it is. They came out with new sets for 2 of the classes, and they said they're coming for all the classes. Here it is. They said they were going to buff Barbarians. They did. they said the community has been begging for auto pickup of stuff. I mean, we're only going to pick up Greater Rift Keystones, but that's better than nothing. Some people I know are happy that they nerfed Thorns Necros and thought they were too powerful. Okay, so maybe now other classes can come in and RGK at the highest level. I'm not upset about that either. So overall, I'm happy with these changes, but I want to know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And like I said, I play Diablo every day. I'm playing every day for 10 years. I've already committed to that. Actually, today was the 7th month in a row that I've played. We'll be testing everything in this. We'll be testing Crusaders. We'll be testing Barbarians. We'll be testing Monks. And we'll go back into the 150s. We'll watch the Bazooka Wizards decimate it like they always do. And then let's spawn Blighter. We'll fish for Blighter on the PTR. I'll bust out my Thorns Necro, and I'll see how fast I can kill him. To be honest, for the game, the Blighter fish wasn't a good thing for the game. It's not fun to try to clear a rift and have like a 1 in 25 chance of getting a good time, which is literally what I did all day today. So, I don't know. The game continues to evolve. Overall, I'm happy with Blizzard. I'm happy with what they're doing. They are making an effort to listen to us. That's very obvious. I appreciate what they're doing. Okay? Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the PTR very soon. Thank you.